Okay, we're back. So we're on the other half of the port now. My pointer here. Okay. What do you feel inside that port right now?
Feel a big chunk right here. It's kind of rough. There's definitely some sort of lip, if you will.
There's a big low spot here and a high spot here. This high spot is good. This low spot's bad. There's a big lip coming up. So this should all have metal in here, and it's not there. So it's just a big massive low spot here that we don't want to cut this down, because it should be this height here all the way over, not this height. So you're gonna have a bump seat coming up here. You're gonna have a little bit of a lip on it. You gotta live with it. Now, when I was running from this other side, see you dig in here?
Mm-hmm.
That makes it horrible from this side, because I got a big hole right there. See, that's why I didn't cut there.
Right.
That's just knocking the carbon off any high spots in the casting, just
right.
texture, not even the high spots, just texture change.
Right.
That way I can see what I'm working with, because you see it matters from this direction.
Right.
Because what looks good from this side, over here on the back side, from this side it's horrible what you're doing. Right. Because it's the blend. So you got to be careful. Don't overcut this side initially. Just cut out the heavy stuff that needs to be cut, but don't get too deep. Okay. When you come back over here, you do the same thing. Don't get too deep in there. That screws up that part. You do what you're cutting here, and then blend it in between the two when you're done. So you're cutting it from two different directions. Okay. So you got to be careful. So this is terrible because that's what it is. This is high. We can cut this down a little bit. We got a little bit of a lip here, so we can open it up a little bit. So, and you see I got the head on the 4x6 over here holding it. And give me about the angle of what I need to work with. So, this port sucks right there. Oh well. Harley didn't care. It's not their bike, it's your bike. Okay. So now this is steel. These are not made for steel. There's not much aluminum cutting going on there, so about the steel cutter. So what I do is I take the seat that's already in there and I use it as a pattern, and I give a slight negative angle to it. So instead of being vertical straight in, I angle a little bit because this cutter has a curve to it. Right. If you just go straight, it's actually going to be curved like this when you're done. So if you turn the cutter like that, it'll be like that. It'll be more straight. Right. So see how that spot just got cut right there? Mm-hmm. See, the seat is the guide, because this isn't cutting the steel for shit. So feel it? Just cut it right to the steel. Right. Okay, then you come back and blend it slightly. See that edge right there? Yeah. This one's not too sharp, but you want to just kind of make a light radius. Don't cut deeper. Like that. That's all you do. You're just taking off
that edge that was there.
It's like this bench. You're taking this curb off here. You have to look at the camera, not your eyes. It's like we're cutting this lip off. So we're making a radius like this. We're not trying to make a big radius. We're just trying to just knock off that edge. Right. That's all it takes. And you won't be cutting it all up in the short side. You want to open the port up to the point where the seat is, but no, don't make it higher up. I can cut off the angle, but you might get in trouble doing that. Okay. Now we're getting down to a bad area over here. Yeah, I'm hitting on the high spot. Mm-hmm. See the steel being hit, but it's not really being cut, it's being rubbed on. Right. But already it feel a difference, just knocking that high stuff off.
So much better.
Yeah, we're not working up here, we're only working down here. Okay, now I start moving, I roll it like this because I'm trying to roll in, but don't turn it right at the seat. I'm trying to make it a radius. Right. The problem is that's a high spot in there, so we're going to blend. So I'm going to switch over to this one because I want to cut. See how the trigger gets over here? Yep. So if you want to, you can turn it like this, use your finger to trigger it. So you gotta have good finger control for that, see? Some people can't do that. But you gotta make sure you support on the back side so you're not pushing into it. Right. So using these fingers are kind of like that to keep it straight, centered. And I'm pivoting off of this finger, so it's hard to see. I'm holding this, pivoting with this and this. It's like a tripod mount. Right. See, I'm only cutting that hump. See a little triangle right there I'm cutting? Right there. That's all I'm cutting. Okay. So see I cut back to where I got about a 3/16 of an edge of virgin metal there.
Okay.
So I'm making facets, and then I'll blend the facets. Let me go in here, see what's up in here. So I can feel there's a high spot in there. You can even hear it, see? That's that big casting ridge that's in there. Now you're going deeper, but you gotta be careful. That's far enough for that. Deeper that way. Okay, so we're starting to cut our facet a little bit. We don't get any deeper.
Okay.
So now you can blend those two in, but see you got a big low spot here. It's massive, but it is what it is.
Right.
It makes it hard when you're cutting a high spot because it wants to cut in the low spot.
Right, wants to run that way.
Yeah. See, this is all low through here. See, there's a lip underneath the seat here.
Yeah.
Now knocking off the casting stuff.
Right.
I'm going downhill on the sweep. You can hear it change when it digs in, then it gets light again. So you got to change your pressure as you're going down. The RPM, the higher the RPM, the more cutting you got. Lower RPM, the more just kind of smoothing you're doing. And I use the coast down too, if you notice. Okay, that's about all I can do with that.
That was good.
See, I know what I'm doing, so it comes out quick. But you can see the ridge in there. This ridge right here is all the problem area. This is low. This is low up here because we don't want to cut there. See, that's the short side. We don't want to be cutting there. It's too low. See, that whole thing's too low.
Yep.
It should be a lot taller. You know, that's finger fucking all those ports. You see them?
Yep. Yep.
You go like that and go, oh, that feel how sharp that is compared to what their ports were?
Yeah.
Because there should be metal there. Should be a nice raised
So
port.
a nice round.
Yeah, so the air is only going to turn about 7 degrees, and it turbulates after, makes eddies after, so it just kind of rolls behind.
Right.
So don't try to make it turn more than 7 degrees. It ain't going to do it.
Right.
It won't follow that curve. So just knock off the sharp edge so it doesn't dig into it, but it has to make the turn on its own by hitting something else. So as the air hits here, it stacks up on the backside and then forces it around. So, okay, so the bottom of the bowl is kind of rough in there, so I'm going to try to smooth that up a little bit with a different cutter. So you can put your finger in there like backside like that. It's really bad in there. Because all these low spots are mixed with high spots. So even though I don't want to really cut deeper there, I'm gonna smooth it up a little bit.
A little bitty, like you almost feel like little nib knobs or.
Yeah, well, it's just a bunch of curves sticking up in low spots.
Right.
Well, the top of the curve that I want to be, but you know, you can't have this and this low and have this sticking up. It doesn't work. So you have to sacrifice the flow in some respect by cutting that down a little bit. Don't cut it all the way, but at least make it more radius all the way around. You know, that has to be done from a different angle. Okay, so this side of the port here is pretty good. So I'm going to go with this side here. See, this side's it's all undercut, so there's not much to do over here, but we'll knock off the high spot. That's about all we can do. So I got to support the head so it doesn't move, see, my pinky.
Right.
And I'm still using the 3-finger pivoting and all that.
Right.
See, over here it's wall steel because I already cut there.
Yep.
And here you can hear it cutting aluminum.
You can hear it.
Size, and then we blend. it off and not make it thicker.
Not take any material.
That's about it. See how smooth it is?
Yeah, so much.
You can see all the low spots still in there.
Yeah.
It's not about removing the metal.
Right. It's about taking the peaks, right?
Yeah. It's blending it. And you can see all the low spots, uncut areas, but when you run your finger through it, it's nice and smooth. Now, this is a little bit rough texture here, so over with our finishing bit. This will smooth up the texture under here like I'll do. You see how it fits in the guide area too?
Yeah.
Lots of moving around.
Right.
Blends in stuff and smooths it. Blends it all. It just kind of takes off the little, like this little stuff here.
Right. Definitely some finessing going, right? Just kind of.
Yeah, it's all about the angles and stuff. The last thing it cuts over on the short side, but most of it's already cut.
Sorry, will you explain why you're referring to it as the short side?
This side's this long and that side over is that long.
Are you talking about the back radius or the short radius? Okay, thank you.
I'm going to cut it from both sides. So this is the final thing you do, just make sure you cut all that. I pretty well cut all the way, but not quite all the way probably. I might have cut some, I didn't really feel much.
Right.
Now we do the blending. All we're doing is taking off any rough casting, but we're not trying to cut anything. So I can cut way back on this edge here. I actually ground this edge down right here.
Okay.
I chamfer because I put the gouges and everything. So I do a lot of work here on the back side, right here on the back side.
Right. You want to be able to use that angle.
Get down low. Where the cutter angle's at.
Yeah.
Cutting on the top of the short side. Trying to make it round. Feel it?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to remove any metal.
Just trying to smooth it out.
I'm just taking off the high spot. Like this here.
Right.
Took off the high spot.
Knocking it down.
That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to make it reform it. I'm trying to knock it down. Every one of those little edges cause a vortex, which turns into a big, massive area.
Right.
If you eliminate that vortex to a little small vortex, instead of being only this big, still being like this, it's only like this.
Right.
That means all this area here open up the flow. I don't use a flow bench. Common sense tells you what it's going to do. The biggest thing is you might not see an increase in mass flow in numbers. The quality of the flow is going to be better. So you pick up flow by quality is always better than quantity. Always. Now I'm blending the short side to the port side. That transitional area is really hard to do because you're going from nothing to huge.
Right.
So literally it'll do it in about 1/8 of an inch. It's hard to make that smooth. You want to keep this height as tall as you can right here, so the airflow will straighten out before it hits the valve. If it's turning when it hits the valve, it'll never turn. It has to hit, kind of straighten out a little bit and then turn it. It's hard to explain, but that's why you're trying to keep this height right here taller. There's not much more I can do. Feel how low that low spot is?
Yeah.
It really screws up the airflow bad. Oh well, it's a hard one. Until you make a new head, you're stuck with that. The bad part is most aftermarket heads have the same problem. So this is the blending area again, the same spot. You're blending those two areas together.
Yep.
See how this one feels a lot better?
Yep.
Because it's taller on this side. something like this. It's half gone. That I did. Because that was that facet I had cut in there, so I blended it back a little bit. The problem is I'm cutting back my height on my straight, which is not good, but you got to get the air to turn it a little bit before you make it work. Okay, that's pretty smooth there. Okay, now we know this is a mess in here. Let me go and fix this again. These short blocks. Oh, that one's gone. Okay, so feel that mess down there deep?
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Definitely some knobs.
A lot of knobbies. Okay, now you'd think this would cut easier than this one. No. Two things going on. This takes almost no pressure to cut when they're, so you barely touch, it'll cut something.
Okay.
That one you got to push a little harder.
Okay.
A lot of times this one here is sharper than this one because I use this not as much as this one. So it's kind of misleading. I have bad light here, so I can't see it's a shadow, but I know there's a big spot right here, a ridge going linear through the port, like this. It's hard to cut a high spot because you keep rolling off each side.
And then you grab each
so
side.
you make it low, 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 low. You're making it worse. It's hard to get rid of it. You have to get some angle to it.
So you can ride the top.
Right. So yeah, but I can't ride very far because I'm on the short side. So it's really hard to do it. And this is the side we just got done fixing on the other side, so remember the port's low through here, it's all screwed up. If it wasn't so bad I would have left it, but it's so damn bad. See where I'm grinding? It's just the shiny spots. See how much better that feels already.
Yeah. There's like a very distinctive one.
It had a wall in there.
Yeah.
It's still got a wall in there, but now it's a lower wall. Okay, now I gotta turn this and try to do it again. The angle's bad here. Too tall. Without it. So I don't want to cut the short side at all, that's the problem. You can see where I was cutting right here, but see now I'm cutting, that's on the ball.
Right.
Which means I'm going to make holes, I'm not going to fix anything.
Dig and run around on
I'm going to cut over here, but that's the short side. It's already it's already cut too much there, and I'm going to make it worse. See, I can't, look where the cutter's at.
Yep.
It's right against the short side where it's already undercut. So I can't get it from this side. You want to, but you just can't get it.
Just better leave it alone. Huh?
Right, you can't get to it. You're going to make the low side even lower. You know, it'll look good from this side, but it'll be horrible on the other side. So you're back to only one side again. You really got to figure out where the problem's at too. It's right there. See, you going from one side to the other?
Yep.
It's right there only. Really hard just through that little area. Really hard. And there's another spot further down right here. At home I have a big ass, real large diameter one. You come in there, it's got more of a radius, so you just barely touch and get out.
Right.
It literally just hits the high spot and get the hell out of it. That's all it takes. Because it'll dig a hole so damn fast. There's a big hole right there. So. It's so easy to make this worse. Lots of lower beam at different angles. Very light pressure. See how much the improvement it made? Night and day.
Oh, for sure. You got it.
You pretty much bounce from high to high at all these different angles, so it's like cross-cutting, but it's really, really hard.
You got it, for sure.
Now, if you use the fine cutter, it doesn't quite do the same job, and it tends to dig in more. Then we come back with this one. This can make holes too, but trying to smooth it more. You roll your finger on a different surface, you can feel it. See, there's no high spots anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely low spots, and the shape's good. You come back from this side and do the same thing. See, it's all blended.
Yeah.
Lots of low spots.
Huge improvement.
Huge low spots, but we took off the high spots. We took off the peaks. At least it goes in. It's actually pretty difficult for it to do. And this one over here, it's a lot smoother by design. See what? You're gonna get those big low spots in there, but at least it all blends easy. Alright, so that was a hell of a lot of work to do on that one. This was so hard on one side. Alright, so this is your side. So keep that where you can see it, which doesn't help you because every port's different. That's the myth about a Harley. Everything's got to be equal. Why? There's nothing about that head that's equal.
Right.
Not a damn thing. Port shapes are different heights, different depth, different sizes, different angles coming in. These don't run the same. Not even close. There's no way you can equalize them. Just make them both run as good as they can, and one somewhere make more power.
Get what you can out of it, right?
If you make them both efficient, they'll want the same fuel supply.
Right.
One's just gonna, the better flowing port with the correct air fuel ratio will make more power than the other one, but they will burn the same. So your spark plug will look the same, the motor will work the same, even though they're totally different. One might make 5 horsepower more than the other, but they're working the same. You're not going to feel the power impulse difference. But if you got one cylinder runs good, one runs crappy, then you got the problem. Okay, it's all your turn now.
Okay.